What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Totally here again with another 2024 NFL mock draft. Making it a quick one tonight, so I'm only going to do one round, but we're going to do some trades and try to predict the trades. So it's going to be, um, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but before, like, usually I'll just do like one trade for the quarterback position up at the top, and then, you know, kind of just go right from there straight down the board. But I was thinking about trying to do a little bit more trades in the first round, just a one mock draft or a 1 round mock draft, and like I said, try to get some more trades involved than just the status quo. So let's go ahead and start the draft, boy. Um, Bears. Okay, so the last couple videos I had them trading out of the position and going and getting uh, or keeping Justin Fields and getting more draft capital to better the team. Um, we're going to go back to the Caleb Williams train, and Justin Fields is going to go elsewhere. And because it's a 1 round mock, we're just going to say where Justin Fields ends up because there's no point making the trade unless it was be for a first round pick, which I don't know if someone's willing to fork out a first rounder for him. I don't know if he's worth a first rounder, really. But that's maybe what they actually want for him in return. But um, we're gonna do this scenario as if, let's see, what team should we have grab Fields? Um, hmm, Thinking maybe we do one with the Steelers grabbing Fields, and then we don't have a second round pick, but we're still gonna have our first round pick. Let's just say that. So Justin Fields gets traded to the Steelers, and Kenny Pickett turns into a backup, possibly even traded, maybe. But like I said, since we're not doing that many rounds, we're just doing one. We're just going to hypothetically say Fields is on the Steelers now, and the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams #1 overall. And now the Washington Commanders are still up. Kind of thinking about this one. I think they will take a quarterback, but there's been some talk, at least with the fans, that they think like that Sam Howell is capable and that they need to address other positions. I'm okay with that. I think Howell's kind of getting dealt a crap hand. Like, did he play bad down the stretch? Sure, but he had some bright moments. I think, whether it's the Commanders or somebody else, I think somebody could, bring him in and coach him up a little bit more. He's only played, what, 1 season? I mean, we just given up on a guy that quick? I don't know. Um, Everyone's just acting like Washington's a surefire, you know, quarterback selection, and maybe they are, but maybe maybe they trade out and Howell stays. So we're just gonna try that out for size. And who should we have move up to take either Jaden Daniels or Drake May? Take a look see. So I think that tackle was a big need for the Commanders and edge. I don't think I want to move down too far because I think they're still going to want to be able to select one of those top guys. So let's see what we want to do here. Hmm. Let's have the Broncos because before in one of my past videos, I said the Patriots are the most quarterback needy team because I just don't see a path with Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, but I really, really don't see a path with Jarrett Stidham as your quarterback to start the year. Obviously, they're going to try to do something to address that area. So why not make it now? Um, we're going to have the Commanders trade out with the Denver Broncos. So 12 for 2. We got to make up some ground here, so it's going to take definitely next year's first, obviously. Um, let's see. Maybe we throw in this year's third, and then next year's second. It's going to take a little bit more from the Broncos for the simple fact that this is a move up for a quarterback for one, and for two, you're moving up what 11 picks or whatever. That's a pretty significant jump, especially get to two. So it's going to cost them that there, and we're going to push that through. Denver Broncos are moving up, and now comes the decision. Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Like with the Commanders, with the Cliff Kingsbury signing, if you want to call it that, hire. I think Jaden Daniels would be the selection for the Commanders. Broncos, on the other hand, do you like the more pocket passer kind of strictly? I mean, Drake May has a little bit of wheels. He can move, but he's obviously nothing on Jaden Daniels' level when it comes to that aspect. Do you want the guy that's more, plays in structure, or Jaden Daniels, who I think he plays in structure well, but if he has to get outside the pocket and move, obviously he's the best quarterback in this class at doing so. So it really just depends on what you want. I'm still personally a believer that Jaden Daniels will be the second quarterback taken in this draft, so I am going to stick with that in my personal beliefs. And Jaden Daniels is going to go 2 to the Denver Broncos in this mock draft. See how this scenario might play out. So now we got the New England Patriots here up at 3. They could either go Drake May, which is obvious, or a lot of people have been trying out Marvin Harrison Jr. there, maybe looking at getting a second-round guy, or maybe moving back up into the bottom of the first round to take like a J.J. McCarthy, something like that. So we're going to exercise that because I never really had Drake May. I had him fall to like 4, but never anywhere past that. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it could be a possibility. They might go Marvin Harrison Jr. and just try to hit big with the wide receiver selection, since they, historically have been kind of bad lately at drafting that position. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take Marvin Harrison Jr. there at 3 to the Patriots. And now you've got the Arizona Cardinals up on the clock. And I'm probably going to not end up letting Drake May get past 4 again, simply because if I'm the Cardinals, if you were really in on Marvin Harrison Jr., and maybe they're in on Malik Nabers as well, or Rome Odunze, or any one of these other players at the top, then you just stick and pick. But with the opportunity for someone to come up for May at this point, with how the first 3 selections have gone, I think it would be smart for them to move out. So let's look at other trade partners here for Drake May. And who should we have move up the board? Like I said, I'm not trying to go down too far, even though I sort of just did that with the Broncos. They just need a quarterback really badly. Desmond Ridder, I think if they don't get one, it's not, a huge issue. Because, you still have Ridder, and he's not terrible. So, they could improve that, so they might want to come up. And I'm not saying that, but at least there's something there. The Raiders are a team that doesn't really have anything there. Maybe let's get a little ballsy here, and let's move the Raiders up. Las Vegas, we're going to swap the 13 for the 4. This is also another move up for a quarterback, so we're gonna throw in the 1 there again. And from 13 to 4, first round, maybe we just throw in like a 4th round pick or something. I think that's plenty to be able to move up. I mean, they're getting rid of their first round pick next year, so this isn't as significant of a jump, and for the caliber player, at least in my opinion, that the Broncos had to move up for. And here's the, obviously we have these point totals on like draft capital and stuff like that. And I was about 400 points over in the first pick. So I am as well with this, with a 1st and a 4th to move up to the 4th overall pick. I think that's fine enough. None of that's going to affect this mock draft anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But Raiders move up to 4. They're going to make Drake May their first round selection and move on from Garoppolo And Aiden O'Connell is going to slot in as your backup, which that's, at least from what we've seen to this point, that is where he that's his range anyways. So now we've got the Chargers up here with the 5th pick, and I'm kind of sticking true to it. I understand the option of going tackle and upgrading upon Trey Pipkins, but in all reality, can I think Joe Alt can play right tackle? Yes, I do. Is it ideal? I mean, not really, because he's like a left tackle and one of the best one. Obviously, he is in my opinion, the best tackle in this class. So to just take him here to move him to right, when there are other right tackle, there's a bunch of right tackles in this draft with Latham, Fuaga, Mims. And now, granted, if they take somebody here at 5, maybe they don't get one of those players. But even down the board, you can find other right tackles in this draft. The tackle class is deeper than usual, so there's definitely some options. So we could wait on that. We could go Brock Bowers with the, Jim Harbaugh hiring there. He loves his tight ends, and it still makes the most sense to me. So instead of moving down to just take a right tackle later, I'm just going to stick and pick. Give Justin Herbert another weapon. The offense there, as good as Herbert is, as good as a wide receiver group he has, they're kind of injury prone. They just don't move the ball well on offense much. And adding a player like Brock Bowers, I mean, we even seen Gerald Everett. He's a pretty mid tight end. Definitely better than some teams have. But he thrived a little bit in that offense. And if you get somebody like Brock Bowers caliber, I mean, it could just, the sky is the limit there. So we're going to do that. Giants are up now. I think they stick and pick. They definitely need to get like a wide receiver 1. I've been kind of doing this pretty much every time. I was going tackle at first and getting Evan Neal out of there. But like I said, in my past mocks, I think you give him another year, see if he can figure it out. Because you did spend a first-round pick on him, and giving up on him that quickly is, for what you spent as far as draft capital. I would just hold on and just see, if he improves during the off season, and then through this training camp, and worst comes to worst, you go get like a free agent tackle to bring in to if he's not panning out again there, then you have a veteran or something like that you can slot in. They just need a wide receiver 1. It's plain and simple. So we're going to take Malik Nabers there at 6 for the Giants. Titans are up. They're sticking and picking because they need to get that offensive line figured out. It's been my choice every single draft. It's not going to change. I don't think it changes for pretty much anybody doing mocks. If Alt falls to this point, he's the pick. And then, I actually, if you paid attention to or watched my positional rankings video, actually moved Talise Fuaga up to my tackle 2. So, if Alt gets taken, you're probably looking at either, depending on how the Titans feel, of course, you're looking at either Olu Fashanu there or Talise Fuaga. In this case, Joe Alt is there, so no-brainer pick for the Titans. All right. The Atlanta Falcons are up here. We're going to exercise, like usually with Rome Odunze sitting here, I would just not even think twice about it and just go get him if I was the Falcons. Or you take, a defensive line player to increase the pass rush up for the team, because that's pretty much your 2 biggest problems. But realistically, if I don't take Odunze here, he's probably going to be my pick for the Bears anyways. Maybe not. Maybe we just... I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel about doing it. Let's just take a second and think about it. It's so hard. I just have to do it. I just have to take Odunze because there's nobody in that wide receiver room under contract, at least right now, other than Drake London. You need a second wide receiver to pair with him anyways. So why not just go get Odunze? It makes sense to me. Bears up here at pick 9, and they're going to take the first edge off the board. could use a wide receiver, but the top tier is gone. Maybe we can address that a little later. Still get some good value down the board. I think they're, could they take a swing at a tackle? Sure. Especially with Olu still sitting here. Sure, you could. But yeah, I would think they'd still try to go get somebody opposite Montez Sweat and get some more pass rush. The defense looked like it was starting to turn it on at the end of last year. You add a couple extra pieces to it, and I don't know, maybe you have a top 10 defense next year. So we're going to take my edge one, as much as everybody loves Dallas Turner. We're going to take my edge one and Jared Verse. Plus, I think he's a good scheme fit anyways for Matt Eberflus's defense there. So now we've got the New York Jets up, and I'm going to get them. They need to figure out the offensive line. Also, they could use wide receiver, but like I said, we've got plenty in this draft to work with. That's the most deep position of this entire class. So with that being the case, as much as I say with that being the case, we're going to take my tackle 2 in Talise Fuaga to the Jets. All right, now we've got the Minnesota Vikings up. And, they're missing their 3rd round pick. They have an extra 4th. They're missing a 7th. You could just stick and pick here. Edge would be a good selection because all of your edges are basically going into free agency. Or maybe you could move down a little bit, still end up taking an edge, gathering some more picks. That could be an option, but if I had them slide out, who would it? Obviously, I think Fashanu would be the player that someone is jumping up to grab. If I had to say anything about it. Yeah. So who needs a tackle that they can move down just a little bit with to gain a couple extra picks? So I'm kind of looking at Washington. They could just wait because if they don't take the tackle, then Washington could take the tackle. And I kind of wanted to do that anyways. I wasn't really thinking about expecting the Denver Broncos to be the one I did it with, so they moved down a little farther than I had first anticipated. So maybe we just stick here. Or somebody knowing that Washington needs the tackle moves up in front of Washington, like the Saints, Bengals, Steelers. But with the Steelers getting Fields, they probably traded away their 2nd rounder. So we don't want to trade away more there. So I'm actually, just to ensure that we get the pick, I'm going to have the Washington Commanders move up just one position here. Just to ensure that they get the player that they are looking for. And it might, let's get the Vikings a 3rd round pick. So let's throw in their 29th 4th. Okay. And then we need 93 points. So we're going to get the Commanders 3rd here. That's fairly even. And so that, the Vikings are really just converting their 29th pick of the 4th round to a 31st pick of the 3rd round, basically jumping up a whole round with this pick just to move down one position. I would take that. So they're going to just swap there, and Washington is going to grab the tackle that they need with Olu Fashanu there at 11. It's getting a little interesting. A lot of trades so far, and let's just keep it going because it's something different. All right, Vikings here, now that they moved down, they still wanted to get that edge, and they're going to get it with Dallas Turner here at 12. Great value at 12. Now you've got the Cardinals up from already moving down. They need, they have needs all over the defense. That's probably what I'm going to go with here. Tackle-wise, you have Paris Johnson. You still have DJ Humphries, which I think you could wait another year I don't remember if he's a free agent or not. I think he might be, but if you bring him back, you could wait on tackle till maybe next season if you really had to, because Humphries is definitely not a bad tackle. You'd like to get younger there on the left side. But like I said, all these guys, at least sitting here at the top, are right tackles anyways. I have Graham Barton and Faltanu listed as guards, and Amarius Mims and Latham are both right tackles. Um, so yeah, at least what we're sitting with right here, right now, probably gonna take, because edge, there's some good edges, but it's definitely not as deep as what everyone thought, at least in my opinion. It definitely starts to drop off, like at least the top tier guys once you get out of this first round. So I'm gonna take Latu here to the Cardinals. Get him an edge now. Maybe we can address corner with the second pick. Then go get yourself a wide receiver with the third or something like that. Even though we're not going into second and third rounds in this draft particularly, but that's my thought process because the corners are fairly deep and the wide receivers are really deep. So can address that later on in the draft. Saints here at 14. I think it's going to be tackle probably still. Either that or you go with a wide receiver. Edge wise, they could use that as well, but you'd be taking like Braylon Trice at pick 14. That's too rich for me. Or you could take that cat Darius Robinson that can play inside, outside, whatever you choose him to do. My last mock, I mentioned it, that I thought that was the guy that they were saying cut weight to show his edge ability, and then he could add it on if you want him as a defensive interior or something like that. And I was right that was the guy I was thinking of. Confirmed. So, I could see him even getting up here into the first round, but I think it's going to be more towards the back end of the first and not like dead smack in the middle. So we're going to just go with, I think, the tackle is what I'm thinking. And as much as I love it for the Steelers, I'm sorry, but this time we're going to take Amarius Mims to the Saints. Just love the upside of the player. Latham, I think he has a higher floor right now, but I think the upside with Mims is going to probably boost him above Latham possibly in this draft. Now we've got the Colts up here, and there hasn't been a corner touched yet. We could do that with Kenny Moore being a free agent. All you have is like Juju Brents right now. Definitely could use a corner one, so I think Brents is more of a 2. So that could be a possibility. Or a wide receiver to pair with Pittman Jr. But like I said, this wide receiver class is deep. It's deep. So let's take our favorite corner. And right now for me, it's still going to be Terrion Arnold as my corner one. We're going to take him there at 15 to the Colts. Now we've got the Seahawks here at 16. I've been going defensive interior for them a lot. This time I'm going to switch it up. I am going to take Graham Barton with the 16th pick. He's going to play guard for the Seahawks there. Or center, or wherever the hell you want, because he can play all positions on the line. The versatility of it boosts him above Faltanu, at least in my opinion. I think Faltanu is a guard. He played tackle, so you could see that as versatility, but I just don't think in the NFL, he's going to pan out at tackle. I think he's definitely going to have to move inside. Excuse me. Jacksonville here with the 17th pick. What do we like for them? We could move it out possibly, or we just take, second corner off the board, wide receiver. Probably going to stick and pick with this one too, because there are needs that we have at the top of the board here. I'm trying to get like some more trades, which I've done a decent amount already, but I don't want to just finish out the round without anything else happening. So we'll see how it goes. But in this case, we're going to go with my corner 2 right now, and that's going to be Nate Wiggins. We're going to take him to the Jaguars to play with Tyson Campbell on the outside. Bengals are on the clock with him still sitting here, probably looking at, this is the first time I didn't even let one of these top tackles fall to the Steelers. Usually you can nab one, but this offensive line class is pretty damn good. So with their need of a tackle, we're going to take J.C. Latham there to the Bengals. They're going to stick and pick. And now you've got the Rams up here at 19. I could see them possibly being a team that moves out. They could use corners, so maybe they don't. You know, they could use tackle as well. I was thinking about maybe moving down to grab like an edge or something like that, get some more picks. But you know, they have a lot of picks in this draft. They're missing a fourth, but they've got 3/5, 4/6. You know, maybe you can package something a little later on to get yourself, you know, another pick since you have that many. You know, you could package 2/5, get a fourth, or maybe even a late third or something. You know, they could do something later on in the draft. So we're gonna just probably stick and pick again, and we're gonna take Quinyon Mitchell here. Quinyon Mitchell, he's definitely gonna go, I think, earlier than what we thought originally. So he's gonna go 19 there to the Rams. And now we've got the Steelers on the clock. And maybe even the Steelers, you know, because we're just eliminating this second round pick. Like it's not there because we gave that up for Fields, and maybe we gave him like next year's third or fourth or something like that to acquire Fields. So I could see them, you know, I would love some Cooper DeJean on this team. And there's been so many tackles being taken before in this draft that like I normally go tackle here. I could only one I might go is like Tyler Guyton, but I don't think the other ones are worth it. Or we take Jackson Powers Johnson, which you might be able to move. Well, actually, no, because I think the Dolphins would snag him if we didn't take him. So let's just stick. As much as I want to gain some picks back after getting Fields, let's stick. And we're going to take Jackson Powers Johnson to the Steelers there. They need a center. They need to upgrade over Mason Cole. If you didn't end up grabbing one of these tackles, because I try to usually go tackle center if I'm drafting Steelers, because the line is, you know, the biggest need that you have to address. So with us missing out on the top tackles there at 20, we're going to take the best center available, Jackson Powers Johnson to the Steelers. Now we've got the Dolphins on the board. This is where I'm going to take Faltanu because they need that guard position, and he's going to come in, and they need a tackle. They could use a tackle position too, so whichever one you want to try him out. I think he's a guard. Like I said, most people think he's a guard. It's fine. You need a guard. So he's going to go there to the Dolphins. Now we've got the Philadelphia Eagles up. And it sucks because I always just pretty much stick and pick with the Eagles, and they end up with like a player that's fallen or something. It seems to happen even in past years' drafts. Like they're always, at least lately, down towards the bottom of the board, and they still end up walking out smelling like a rose somehow. So with them, I'm gonna take Cooper DeJean again, like I did in my last mock. He's gonna go to the Eagles because I think he could be, you know, an all-pro safety. I think he could be a good corner. I think he has a little bit more upside at safety, if you ask me, just because he can tackle better than any corner in this class. He's great at coverage, regardless of where you put him. I just like the tackling ability. You know, he can come up in the box if you want, more so than any other corner here. So I'm going to take him there with that versatility, whether we want to put him at the safety position that they need or the other, you know, a corner position for one to replace one of these older guys like Brad Berry or something like that. So now all the Texans are on the clock. It's funny when we get down here, it's not like, you know, I want to make some trades, but is anybody worthy of moving up for? You know, maybe like Johnny Newton, Byron Murphy, but they also could use a defensive interior, so maybe they don't. Yeah, it sucks to say, but I might just round this out without any other trades because there's nothing I'm really seeing, at least right now, that I want to pull the trigger on. So we're going to stick with the Texans here, and we're going to go get, I still have them slightly above Newton, so I'm going to go get Byron Murphy here for the defensive interior of the Texans, and maybe we can get, you know, an edge or a linebacker with the next pick because that's probably where I would go next for them. They're going to fill a hole in the interior there with Byron Murphy. Next up, we've got the Cowboys. You know, people have been putting corner there some. I'm not like the biggest fan of it because like Deron Bland looks good. You know, he went crazy ball hawking with the picks and everything last year. Trayvon Diggs is back. Um, so I'm probably looking more towards wide receiver or tackle here. And with the tackle class starting to get a little thinner, it's not thin at all by any means, but I think the one with the most upside that's left is going to be Guyton. I think he's still going to be a first round pick, so we're going to take Tyler Guyton there for the Cowboys. And now the Packers are up. You know, we could use a possible Bakhtiari successor with a tackle, but I think they need to address that secondary. Uh, you know, Jair Alexander is the only one you got that's like really good in your defensive backfield. So with the fall of McKinstry, I know I did this in my last mock, but it just makes too much sense with what's here. We're taking McKinstry to the Packers there at 25. And now we've got the Buccaneers on the clock. And last time I was saying like Mike Evans is a free agent, we know. We don't know if he's gonna be back or not. Last time I did the scenario where he was back and I took an edge with like Braylon Trice, did that a couple times in a row. Let's do a scenario where Mike Evans is gone. And I'm between two players. Brian Thomas Jr. is my next wide receiver in my rankings, so I would like that. Keon Coleman, I think, is the most comparable wide receiver if you're looking to kind of get like the same type of player as Mike Evans. Obviously, he's not on the level of Mike Evans yet, but as far as like a bigger, taller receiver, combat catch, red zone target type of player, I could see Keon Coleman going there if they just want to just straight up replace that. Or because you have Godwin, who's more of a midfield possession type of receiver, maybe you go get Brian Thomas, who can extend the field. You know, deep threat target. He led, you know, college in touchdown catches for receivers, I believe, last year. So we're going to just exercise the Brian Thomas Jr. Kind of like that a little bit more, even though Coleman's comparable to Evans. Kind of like Brian Thomas Jr. more there at 26. So now the Cardinals are up here at 27. We took Latu with the first pick. Kind of looking corner. That or, you know, I like linebacker as well, but that, you know, they have the third pick of the second round. You might be able to grab something there, like an Edgerrin Cooper there or something. I'm also looking at Johnny Newton still sitting here as well. I was thinking about, so basically right now for me, it's between Rakestraw. He's my next corner, corner on my position rankings. And corner starts to get a little cloudy the farther you move down here. There's still a bunch of defensive interiors, but I don't know if you pass on Newton. You know, you could take Rakestraw and then grab like T'Vondre Sweat even with the third pick of the second round. There's still some guys. Such a hard decision. Because if it like you just go BPA here and you get Johnny Newton, or you get Rakestraw, who's still a very good corner in my assessment. And still, you know, you could dress that interior defensive line a little bit later on. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I think they need a run stuffer more so than like a pass rusher out of the interior there. So like T'Vondre Sweat makes a little more sense to me for this team. So I'm going to stick with my gut, and we're going to take Rakestraw to the Cardinals there at 27. Now the Bills are on the clock here, and this is a possibility for Johnny Newton with the fall. I could see that. I could also believe they need to add another wide receiver to the room. I've given them Keon Coleman and Troy Franklin a bunch. So with the fall of Newton, I'm just going to fire on Newton here to switch things up because they do need that defensive interior line. And just going by BPA, he's best player available. So we're just not going to think twice about it and go get Newton there for the Bills. Now we've got the Lions here. Corner is their biggest need. Lassiter, I'm not like, as far as my list goes, he's next, but I like TJ Tampa. Other than that, though, no one's really blown my socks off. I love Sammer still, but he's not a first round pick. So corner is a little strung out. We could look at the edge position. I think last time I did give him Chop Robinson for the speed and upside and have a nice combo on, with Aiden Hutchinson there. Could do that. Or we could take Braylon Trice, but he was gone at this moment. I actually have Trice rated higher than Chop. As much as it sucks, because they do need some corner, as much as it sucks, I think I'm going Braylon Trice. Braylon Trice to the Lions. Now we got the Ravens. I'm still looking at wide receiver for them, and I have Troy Franklin graded higher than Keon Coleman. But the only reasons I've put Keon Coleman higher than Franklin in some past mocks is because of the type of player you might be looking for. Troy Franklin, I think Zay Flowers, he does a lot underneath. Smaller side receiver, they don't have anyone really like Odell Beckham is old, washed up, not as fast as he once was. It's kind of more of a possession guy now. And then you've got a bigger Rashad Bateman for possible combat catch type of stuff. I don't think you have anybody that's really extending the field for this team. And so with my argument there, we're going to take Troy Franklin here to the Ravens at 30. And now we have Kansas City on the clock. Still liking Lab McConkey here. Keon Coleman, I could go there if we're going wide receiver. I could, but it seems like kind of similar to what they have already. I'm not saying Rashee Rice is the greatest combat catch wide receiver ever. He's definitely good in that department. MVS is kind of your field extender guy if he's still there. Other than that, they don't really have much to work with. Sky Moore was a bust, in my opinion. So I'm kind of looking for someone that just gets open. That's a little faster than Rice. And like I said, MVS is kind of your deep threat. So I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna get Lab McConkey into the first round because I think he's worth it. And I think that, at least for this team, it's a better selection than taking Keon Coleman personally. So we're going to go Lab McConkey there at 31 to the Chiefs. And to round out this mock draft, nice short one for you guys, we're going to take, let's see who we got for the 49ers. Still looking at the tackle position, safety as well. But with these last couple tackles sitting here, I think kind of a no-brainer to take one. So let's look at what we got. So as far as Senior Bowl stuff, Patrick Paul kind of, like I said in my last mock, he wasn't a winner and he wasn't a loser. He was just kind of all right. Sue Matea, I think, has the most upside out of this group, but I think he could use a little bit of work. Jordan Morgan, I think, is just solid. Nothing crazy about him. Not super. I don't think there's a ton of upside there with him. I think he's just going to be a solid starter, not Pro Bowl caliber, at least obviously at least right out of the gate. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he ends up being that. But just based upon upside right now with this group, I'm going to take Sue Matea. Kingsley Sue Matea is going to go to the 49ers there. And that is going to round out my first round, one round mock draft tonight for you guys. We'll do maybe this weekend or something, even though it's only like tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. Maybe probably Sunday. Might do another one Sunday, and maybe we'll do something crazy since it's the weekend and I don't have much to do on Sunday. I don't believe. Maybe we'll just do like something wild, like a whole 7 rounds, dude, or something. I don't know. Might be fun. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Just it's been a while since I did just a single first round mock. Had some fun trades in this one, so hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you like what I'm putting out or you enjoy watching my content, I would appreciate it if you give me a like at the very least. At the very most, subscribe so that you don't miss any further mock drafts or draft content videos that I do in the future. And, I'd really appreciate it either way. Or, I even appreciate you just watching. You don't even have to like it. You don't even have to subscribe. Just watching, is enough for me to get me excited. So, hopefully something comes of this work that I'm putting in. You don't know, you have a lot of people doing this kind of stuff, but as far as at the top, of this mock draft situation, obviously you have the legends, but as far as like people doing this similar to me, just random guy that hopped on here one day, there's not a whole ton of people doing this. There's a good amount, but hoping to maybe be one of the ones that people prefer to throw on at some point down the road. But I digress. Thank you guys if you tuned in and watched this mock, and hopefully I see you guys in the next video, possibly coming out Sunday. Love you. Take care. Everybody have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.